And welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've joined us already, it's great to have you with us. Thank you so much. We're just going to give a couple of minutes just to allow everybody to join before we get started. So thank you. Hello, Ellen. Hello. So, look, yeah, if you are here, thank you so much for joining. Give me a hello in the chat. Maybe let me know where you are as well, where you are, where you're based, and let's see where we've got people signing in from. Naomi, welcome. Oh, here we go. We got lots of people coming here. Bristol. Okay, let me scroll back up here. What have we got? Welcome, London. Bristol right now, based in London, Reading, welcome. Sheffield, two from Sheffield there, Brighton as well, a couple from Brighton, London, Johnny from Birmingham. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's great to have you with us. Luton, Sheffield, Worcester. Currently in the Black Forest. Oh, Esther, that sounds nice. Aberdeen, London, but currently in Lancaster for university. Southampton, London. Welcome. Oh, look, we've got loads coming in. Cardiff as well. Originally from South Africa, now in China. Okay, Samantha, you may be our furthest guest. I have no idea what time it would be for you right now. Look, it feels like we've got plenty of people here, so let's make a start. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining. This is FastFutures, how to create your personal brand and land your dream job, and we'll get into more of that as we get into this as we go. We've got Lynette on here as well, who's going to very much dive into that fast futures conversation, and we'll touch on that at the end. But I've been given the challenge, if you like, of addressing that first part, how to create your personal brand and land your dream job. And I'm super excited about walking you through this. So my name's Simon McCaskill. It's lovely to meet you. I'm a facilitator for Avado, for FastFutures, as we will talk about, also for Google as well, all around digital transformation. And we've got approximately 60 minutes here. We're going to spend the first bit of this talking about employability. And that's going to take about 40 minutes or so. And then we're going to pass on over to Lynette to take you all through the FastFutures opportunity. And also an opportunity at the end to answer your questions. So if you've got questions, please just ask them at the end. And please use the chat as you have been doing already. So formalities aside, let's get straight into this. And let me ask, this might be a rhetorical question here. Are you on social media? Are you on social media? Now, I'm expecting a yes, a no, maybe. LinkedIn. Tell me what your favorite channels are. Tell me if you are on them. Give me whatever you want in here. So we've got some yeses coming in inside here. And again, if you do have a favorite, I've seen LinkedIn come up twice now as a favorite. Instagram is coming up here as well. Okay, Donna, I like that. I'm on there, but I don't post too much. Yes, you're not alone there. You're not alone there. And this is really interesting, isn't it? How we're on there for reasons, but we're not necessarily always engaging there. And I'm very much fall into that category as well. Yes, but it can make me anxious. It's a great point. I love that. Yeah, we see lots and lots of people feeling nervous about this space as well. Facebook, not so more. A few people are saying inside here. TikTok as well. Instagram for travel. Compelled to love LinkedIn. Okay, fantastic. Look, social media. Social media is so big, and I don't have to tell you about this. And why are we on social media? And I think we've started to go there for a multitude of reasons. For work reasons, for family reasons, for connection, for entertainment. I saw come up a few times in there as well. In fact, the stats around the world population on social media is huge. 54% of the entire population of the world. Okay. Now, I'm looking at where you said you were from here. That might not sound so surprising to you, but if you think about all the different parts of the world, the developing parts of the world as well, and we're talking about a number of 54%, 54% are actually on social media. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. On Facebook, and I checked these figures just the other day to make sure, it's about 2.9 billion on Facebook. And again, an ever-changing audience as well. Instagram, about 1.4 billion. And TikTok was the big surprise. And I am somebody who has dabbled with TikTok and then deleted it because it was far too addictive. About a billion people on TikTok. So these are big numbers we're talking about. And why? Well, one big reason is this thing. This little thing. There's a smartphone or the superphone or whatever you want to call it. Now, I'm going to guarantee something right now. I'm going to have a go at this. I'm going to make a statement that I think is going to be true of everybody here. Everybody here, okay? And this statement is this. I would imagine your phone is within reach right now. I would be surprised if it was in a different room. Nope, I've got a nope. Okay, Esther, you're going to be the only one. True. Okay. And maybe a couple of people watching it on my phone. Of course you are. Yes. Look, this is just the world in which we live now. Our smartphones, our mobile phones are essential, absolutely essential. The smartphone is a relatively new device. Originally, first ever smartphone was 1992, and it was a phone called Simon, but it was nothing related to me, and nothing related to the smartphones we have now. Now our phones are so powerful, and they've changed communication. They changed how we communicate. Yeah, just moved it to charge. Yeah, and Lynette sat there with it as well. Okay, so here's a question. With our phones being so close to us and us being addicted, and I don't mean that necessarily as a bad word to our phones, what are we using them for? So social media is one of those things. But what are the other things that your mobile phone gives you the ability to do? Please, in the chat, let me know anything that you do on your phone that you would be lost without it. And I want you to think about things like, I saw things like entertainment come in, these sorts of things. So, okay, brilliant. Let's see what we've got here. Calendar and to-dos. Oh my goodness, yes, I could not live without my to-do list. You're absolutely right. Shoot content for YouTube. The cameras on these phones nowadays are amazing, absolutely amazing. Arguably better than some of the bigger ones. And I know that's a different debate or whatever. Google Maps, interact with people to create a network. Alarms. Yeah, good and bad, isn't it? When that alarm goes off in the morning, we love our phones, we hate our phones. Navigating new places, instant research. Kieran, I love that, instant research. We love instant gratification, and that's what our phones have given us. Look, there was a time where we wanted to find something out. We would have to go on a bus or walk to a library to find it out. Those times have gone. And I joke, but they weren't too far ago. This is still new here. Some more lists in here. Talk with our first talk. Yes, the phones used to talk, but it's so true. Not that that's the priority thing, but to talk or reach loved ones. WhatsApp, banking is on there as well. Banking a few times now. Yeah, look, wow. Communication, music, entertainment, pictures. It's everything. It's why we spend so much time on here. And again, let me make some assumptions here. We are also digital natives. And I'm sure you've heard that term thrown around, digital native, but I heard a really good description of what that means the other day. And I thought, yeah, I get that. It's that when we do get a new phone or a bit of technology, it doesn't always come with instructions. And actually, that's fine, because we'll figure it out ourselves. And actually, I think that's a great definition of if you are a digital native, you get that. We'll figure this out. We'll turn it on. We'll follow the steps, etc. As if you weren't a digital native, you're still looking for those bits of paper. Still looking for that information on how to use this thing. Now, why am I talking about this? Because right now, this is advantageous. This is advantageous for you. If everything I've said there, you're like, yeah, I'm the one that gets the phone. I don't look for instructions. I jump straight in. I'm a digital native. I'm on social media. I'm doing my banking on my phone, etc. Look, this shows us that you can communicate in the 21st century, which is powerful, really, really powerful. And what are we doing on our phones? And we'll go back a step here. So we're on social media. And what is social media really at the heart of it is no more than a platform a platform for us to communicate. And there's lots of different people, individuals, if you like, that do post more than others. And actually, thank goodness they do, because this is where we get our entertainment from, where we follow, we learn, etc. And we like this. We like watching, listening, liking, following, reading about these people. And there's lots of different people that we would class as influencers, if you like. And we get this. We all have our favorites, whoever that might be, from your Elon Musk to your Joe Wiggs to your Mr. Beast, whatever it might be. We've got the people that we connect with. And I don't think we can underestimate how big this is. Facebook has more users than people living in America. YouTube, on average, we're watching about 45 minutes a day. We're sat watching it. It's our entertainment. And Katy Perry has more followers than people in Germany as well. This is big. This is big. And it's all new as well. It's all still relatively new. And if we break that down into minutes, just on social media, just in the UK as well, in fact, we're looking at 211 minutes every day on social media. That's the average. Now, that equates to 3 hours and 31 minutes just on social media. And why? Why is that so important? Because it's building trust. Building trust. Now, please, you'll have your own thoughts here, and please share them, etc. But 92% of people trust the people they follow online. And if you think about the people that you follow, the people that you go back to, the ones that you open up Instagram and they're there, etc., you start to see them again and again. And you start to build relationships with these people. You build trust in them. You see what's going on in their personal life, professional lives, whatever it might be. Now, the truth is, you don't know these people. You don't know these people. But almost by osmosis, you start building trust with them. And this is a very, very powerful opportunity that we see. We trust, we believe the things we see online. If I segue away from social media, if my foot hurts, what I'll do is I'll Google it. I'll Google it. I won't go to the doctor, I'll Google it, and I'll see somebody else that has the same problem as me. I'll read about them, see what they did, and suddenly now I'm a doctor as well. I'm curing my ailments, because there's nothing online that's not true. And obviously you know that's a flippant statement, but there's something in this. We tend to believe what we see, what we read, etc. Now, I'm not painting this up as a negative. Please don't be fooled that way. I'm painting it up as a positive. We live in a time like no other. We are digital natives. There are people online spending hours and hours and hours online. This is a very, very, very unique opportunity. So let me tell you a story here. And the story I want to tell you here is, and I'm going to pronounce this name correct. I've Googled this to make sure I get the pronunciation right. Nusrat Gotcha. Nusrat Gotcha. And again, if I haven't quite pronounced that right, please let me know. Does anybody know who this person is? And again, this is a story probably from before social media, so it's not a commonly known story or about an individual. But does anybody know who this is? If you do, pop it in the chat. If not, let me tell you a story. And I'm not expecting people to necessarily know. The story I want to tell you is about a Turkish chef. Okay, Barrier. Yes, okay. Let me tell you this. If you're not aware of this, then let me take you on this journey. Salt Bay. Let's see. So this is the story of Nusrat, and he's not a Turkish chef at this point. This is back in 2015. He's actually a butcher living in Turkey, and he's from a family of butchers as well. This is what they do. And he wanted to become a chef. He really wanted to become a chef, but he was from a very poor family, didn't have much money, etc. And what he actually did is he volunteered at a local restaurant. Which straight away, if you're volunteering to go and cook people's food, it shows you are passionate. It shows you want to achieve something. And he was absolutely passionate about this. And that passion showed up in his work. People could see this person had something different. He was there working for free. He eventually got a job and got paid. But to start with, he was working for free. Now, on the 7th of February, 2017, one of his colleagues was seeing him work, and they said, wow, can I film you? can I film you? Because there's something about you which is unique. And he decided to say yes. Now, often I think in that situation, I might not say yes. I might say, no, you cannot film me. What on earth are you thinking about that? But he did. He said yes. And yes, you are absolutely right. Who is this? Salt Bae. Now, I'm expecting a few more yeses here. Do we know who Salt Bae is? Let me know in the chat if you know who Salt Bae is. Give me a yes. Okay, we've got a couple of yeses coming in, and to say no as well if you're not sure who he is. Yes. Some no's as well. Okay, fantastic. So for the no's, who is this? This is a person that basically has got very, very famous by doing that. Whether it's on your steak or your burger or your chips or whatever, he comes to your table and he gets salt, hence Salt Bae. And I can't really do it. He kind of drops it on his arm and it goes everywhere. But nonetheless, people went mad for this, and they really did go mad for this. You know, we've got celebrities around the world. We've got murals around the world, people with tattoos of Salt Bae. You know, this is only 2017 this happened. Footballers, American footballers, in that top corner, that's Drake and P. Diddy doing the salting, etc. Now, that's a story you might hear, and that's what you might see from a social media viewpoint. But if you dig a bit deeper, he's built a very, very, very lucrative business from this. He's actually got 22, on the last time I added this up, 22 restaurants around the world. And when I say very lucrative, they are. They sell steaks wrapped in all sorts of things, including 24-karat gold that they sell for more than 1,000, based on his personal brand. Oh, Esther, I think you've just connected the dots here. Look, at this point, you might be like, oh my goodness, what on earth? What's going on here? But do you know what? This is really at the heart of this opportunity that we live. This idea that you can be yourself. You can be yourself, and you can figure out how to package that. We'll talk about that. But if you can represent that the right way online, oh my goodness, this is an amazing opportunity where we now live to do this. And at the heart of this, the concept I want to float is this idea called themes. Now you'll have heard this called different things, content pillars, etc. But I'm trying to make this feel a bit easier. So this is where this word theme comes in. So let me give you an example of this. So if we think about Salt Bae, what would his theme be? So here is The Art of Salting Meat by Salt Bae. This looks like a book. It's not a book. This does not exist, this book, etc. This is me trying to think, well, what is it? What is it about him that people have resonated with? And I've just put The Art of Salting Meat, this flamboyant style, if you like it. And it's that idea of if I do the same thing in the same way enough, I'm going to get noticed. Now, how does this translate to you? We're not saying that you've got to get a dance move or something that you can do if you want. I'm not saying that's not a bad idea. But what could your theme be? Now, it's not a book, but I do like the idea of thinking it like a book. If there was something that you're really interested in, then what could the title of that book be? It's almost something that would encompass your entire approach, your tone of voice as well. Now, if we think back to maybe some of those other people online, people like Elon Musk, etc. Elon Musk's might be something about like, well, at the minute, it might be just like having an argument with anybody, but it might be something like making future tech, or everything's about the future. If we think about someone like Mr. Beast, if you're aware of Mr. Beast, it might be something like turning life into a game show. There's things like Squid Games that he's doing in real life. And I think his aim is to give away all his money ultimately as well. I wonder if you could have a go at this. So I'm going to say Joe Wicks. I'm hoping that a lot of you will know Joe Wicks. Joe Wicks is a PT, a fitness instructor. He does a lot on TV. He also does food as well. If you were trying to guess what Joe Wicks' theme might be, and again, this doesn't exist, could you have a go in the chat, please, of what a theme might be for Joe Wicks? Health and lifestyle, Elizabeth, is a perfect one. And I'm really, really glad it started like that. This is not this is not overcomplicated. This is about keeping this nice and simple. Wellness. Now, I really like that because that could be mind wellness, body wellness as well. It's just, okay, if I'm going to come and talk about anything, I've just got to make sure it's all to do with these things. Wholesomeness is another one. It could definitely be that. What would my voice be in this argument? Would I get involved in politics if I was Joe Wicks? No, probably not, because it doesn't really connect with my theme. Would I get involved with things like school dinners or, lifestyle and mental health? Yes, because it fits in with my theme. So thank you. And I'm hoping this is making sense to you. Now, the whole idea behind this is not new. This is something that's been around for a long, long time. And in fact, probably the most famous person around this is Richard Branson. So there's Richard Branson and then there's Virgin. And obviously Virgin was a company that he created. Now, Richard Branson is no longer the driving force of Virgin, be it trains or planes or all these different things, financial, etc. But we associate and we connect more with Richard Branson than we do the brand Virgin. And if we look at views online, he has a much larger following than the actual Virgin brand. And it's this idea. As humans, we like connection. We like to see someone else at the other side of this. We like to know it's somebody real. And this is where the mind comes in and the curiosity of the mind, if you like. We like to imagine what people's lives are like. If we're about to meet somebody, 80% of us will go and Google the person that we're about to meet. And actually what we do when we Google them, we find out about them. We make assumptions about them. We take first impressions about them. And also we probably have an idea whether we're going to like this person or not before we even meet them. And again, this is the world in which we live. And again, this is not totally new, but if we think about what business was this kind of structure, this idea of there's a brand and then there's the people that work for that brand, the people that work for that business. Now, what are we seeing now more than ever is that flipped on its head. It's the idea of, who are these people and where do they work? And actually I'm more interested in the individuals than I am really about the brand. It's all about making connections. Yes, it really, really is. Love that. Connection is so true. So true. So powerful here. And what we're trying to do is take connection to a different level. We're trying to be smart about it, is what we're trying to do. Think differently about it. So at the start of this, I said personal brand and landing your dream job. Now, everything so far has been about themes and opportunities, etc. We've not really got into the details of this. So let's start this a little bit. Now, yeah, so interesting that personal branding wasn't a big thing many years ago. No. And I think why I think that's the case is with social media and with this ability to communicate with these things, we are all publishers. No longer does it have to be the brand that has the resources and the skills to publish. I can simply go and tweet something, a point of view, a thought this afternoon, and it's out there in the ether. It's out there with the potential to be found. And this is amazing because this is a leveler. This is an absolutely fantastic leveler where it's not how deep are your pockets anymore. I feel like as a society, we stop caring about the artificial side of things and we want personal connection, like you said. Okay, Carolina, I'm going to take this. I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to make a note of that, Carolina. Let me, the personal connection. Hold that thought. and particularly post-COVID. Now, Esther, I think that's really important. That's a really, really important thing. We never saw COVID coming. We've never in our lifestyle had an event that changed everything, that touched every single person. It shifted behaviors, it shifted mindsets and attitudes. And it showed us that nothing is going to stay the same. Everything is going to change. And we knew this anyway, but this was a moment for the world to realize that. And now it's about, look, if we just do the same as everybody else, it's not enough anymore. It's about thinking different. So I think these are amazing, amazing points that you're raising more than ever. So let's go back to this of employment, but I just gave it away there. But let's not think about employment. Let's think about recruitment. Okay, so how do you get employed? Well, recruitment is involved, whether that's people in-house, the recruiters, external, whatever it might be. And I've got a question for you. How long do you think a recruiter has to see a CV? So when they get a CV, how long do you think they have on average per CV? Have a guess. So I'm looking at a time here in the chat. Okay. So we've got 5 to 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 12 seconds inside there as well. Wow. Very few to summarize it. Look, the stat that I've seen, but it was a while ago, 0.7 of a second, not because they get so many. It is 12 seconds. 12 seconds. So Elizabeth, a few other people, I think, said it well done. 12 seconds. So if you think about a CV, what are you actually going to see in that time? Very, very little. Very, very little. So if you think about what they're looking for, and again, I'm oversimplifying something which isn't simple here. They're looking at people that stand out. They're looking at the differentiators. You know, how in a sea of people, how do you stand out? How does somebody stand out? And again, what we used to do, I'm spending too long reading CVs. Yeah, Helen. Now, if you are, you stick to it. You stick to it. But that's the average. Look, university used to be the case. Look, if you had a CV and you had university on there, do you know what? Job done. Job done. Yeah, this person has been to university. You know, they've got the qualification. They'll be adaptable and they'll be able to come here. And I'm not saying that's not the case anymore, but it's no longer as strong as it used to be. You know, and I think now more than ever, it's like, oh, how do I stand out? And actually, in this graphic here, the person standing out is the one making noise. And then there's all these other things about, you know, yeah, they're the right person, etc. But you've got to get noticed before you get into that place. It's about getting noticed and guiding the eye of the recruiter of what you want to see. Now, I like this. Now, let me just share something with you here. I do also work for Google. And again, you'll know this, but let me just make sure we're all on the same page here. When you search something in Google, all Google does, and I've just oversimplified something that's very complicated there, is if you search something, let's say my name, Simon McCaskill, don't do this. All Google's going to do is bring back the best answers. The best answers. Now, how does it deem these being the best answers? Well, this is a machine. This is the machine. It's not thinking, oh, that's appropriate, that's inappropriate. It's just literally, does that match to the search? And if it does, let's bring it back. So when you do a search for Simon McCaskill, what might happen is you might get a multitude of things coming back. Now I'm showing these, and it could have been worse here. I'm not proud about anything on here, etc. And I feel I will have to explain a few of these. But what this is, for somebody that doesn't know you, that somebody that hasn't met you, etc., this is first impressions. Now, I'm not sure why I had that mustache. I'm quite actually proud about that air guitar. The glasses, I'm not sure. And I feel like I need to explain the one at the end. This was where I was testing a product for L'Oreal, virtual makeup, honest. But nonetheless, why am I sharing this here is, yes, this is an opportunity, but this is also an awareness. This is about us being aware of the good and how we want to shape those results, but also being aware of the not so good. And again, the great thing is we can delete these. You know, if these are on our profiles, etc., we can delete these and take them away and replace them with something better. And all Google will do is start showing the things we want to be found for. Now I'm just talking about Google here, but I'm actually talking about something wider. What do we actually want to be found for? So if we want to be standing out from the crowd, what does that look like? You know, we talked about Joe Wicks, wellness, wholesomeness, fantastic. You know, it's these sorts of things of how do I stand out for the crowd, but how do I keep it being honest and authentic to me, which is really, really important. We don't want to shape this away and be something that you're not. We want you to show the best version of you online. So let me talk you through some examples here on how to get started. Now, if this raises any question at all, please feel free to ask them in the chat. And what I'm going to do here is share some of the ideas that you could do here, and then wrap up any questions that you might have, and then we'll move into talking about FastFutures. But how do you get started? Now, the first thing I'm going to say is this: become the 1%. Become the 1%. So I love that question. What if we have different interests? Not only one theme. Love that. Let me remember that. Let me remember. Well, if not, let me answer that straight away now. So again, a theme is not forever. A theme is not forever. A theme is for a moment in time. Right now you've got an objective. And again, I'm making assumptions here. These won't be true of everybody, but let's just do this. Let's say, for example, your objective is to find employment, land that dream job. Okay. So the first thing you've got to do is understand, well, what is that dream job? Which sounds crazy because surely you would know what that dream job is. But it's amazing how many people haven't actually stopped and thought, okay, what is it? What is it I really want to do? And again, don't feel like that's a forever statement. We live in a world now where you can try things and change and whatever. So it's just in this moment of time, what is it that I want to do? And then it's thinking about, okay, what's the best in me that can connect with that type of job? So if, for example, if it is to be a personal trainer, then actually wholesomeness or well-being or mental health is a great fit there. A great fit from it. If you want to be someone that's an entrepreneur, I can't think of the word there, an entrepreneur, and coming up with these amazing ideas, then to be somebody that's talking about the latest developments or taking risks, etc., is a really useful thing to be talking about. And again, it's not forever. It's not forever. It's just, there's a saying, if you chase lots of rabbits, you're not going to catch any. So it's this idea of really homing in, really narrowing it and being strong in that one area. Ellie has just said about the sound there. Lynette, can you still hear me okay? Sounds okay? Yeah, okay. I think it might just be Ellie. We'll drop a message in the chat there, Ellie, just to hopefully do it. It's okay for you, okay? Sorry about that, okay. Sound here, okay, brilliant. Okay, sorry, I'll go on. So what do I mean here about become the 1%? Now, when we think about LinkedIn, and I was thrilled to see LinkedIn coming up at the start there and saying, oh, yeah, it's all good here and we like LinkedIn. Actually, there are 66 million people active every month on LinkedIn. So you think, well, that's a very noisy place. Lots of people making noise. But actually, that's not the case. Only 1% of people on LinkedIn actually share updates. Only 1%. So suddenly, if you start sharing an update, and we're not talking about writing an article, just sharing an update, you've just put yourself in that 1%. So you rise to the top. People start to notice you. If we start to talk about writing an article, and I'm not saying you'd even need to do that, then that's only 0.2% have ever written an article. So again, this is about becoming active. It's about thinking about, well, what's my thing? What's my theme? And then how do I just get active and actually start talking about it? And again, to that point as well, what if I've got different interests? It's just, I'm going to talk about this for this moment in time. This might last 6 months until I achieve my goal of finding that job. It might last a year. It might end up being my career, etc. It doesn't matter. It's just what's right now. So then the other thing is people hit this. What do I mean by an article? Yeah, so on LinkedIn, you've got a couple of options. You can do an update, which is what the 1% have done. An update here might just be, for example, I'm currently on a webinar talking about how to create your personal brand and land your dream job of FastFutures, and it's thoroughly exciting, or whatever you want to say at the end of it. That's just an update, if you like. But an article is where you go to LinkedIn and you write basically a post, and they call them articles. And this is where you start leading the thought process. And again, that might sound a bit daunting, but it's not. The idea is a post. Yeah, it's just simply, look, this is me now writing a bit more than just a post. It's a bit longer. It's a bit more thought involved in it, etc. And as we say, only 0.2% ever do that. And why? Because of this creative block. It's this, well, what am I going to put out there? Who am I to start talking about anything? And that's what we want you to overcome. If everyone, and this is, what we see from the stats, if nobody is talking, then just to have somebody talking is a way of standing out. So then we have this statement, and you'll have heard this before: document, don't create. There's people like Gary Vaynerchuk is a big advocate of this. It's this idea of don't really try and create something, because that's hard to create. It's hard to have your own thought process, etc. just document what you're doing. Look, if you're here now talking about personal brand, just tell people that you're here talking about personal brand. If tomorrow you're reading a book on whatever it might be, positive mindset or whatever, tell people you're reading a book on positive mindset. It's this almost journaling to the wider world, this ability to stand out. And then on the top of that, this is where you can start to apply your theme. I heard the tip that sharing posting in a think tank group on a specific area of interest can create some quite some opportunities. It can, Esther. It's a great thing. What a great one that. Rather than just put it into the ether, really try and harness, your updates, your activity into particular groups. Who did you say said document, don't create? Somebody called Gary V, or Gary Vaynerchuk is his full name, but he goes by Gary V. And I would recommend you checking him out as well. He shows you how you can take one piece of content and create lots of other content from it as well. So yeah, definitely one to check out. But the theme, suddenly when you think, okay, well, what's important for me, and how do I start adding this tone of voice to this? This is where the opportunity really begins. So from earlier, was it Carolina said about personal and connection in post-COVID? Now, Carolina, I don't want to single you out here and or anything like that, but I heard it and I thought, what an amazing opportunity. Well, imagine if that was your theme. If that was your theme, thank you. So you could comment on anything that was happening in the world, but your theme was, how do we get that connection again? How do we get people to people connection? And how do we remember these are real people saying this? That's a really, really powerful theme. And suddenly what people start to realize, and only if it feels right for you, they start to see, oh yeah, Carolina, she's the one all around, connection and being personal, being human. I like that. And these are the unspokens, these connections that we start to think. And it also gives you that tone of voice. Whenever anything happens, you know what you're going to say. You know the important things to do. And again, this is really important to be authentic. It's not that you leave this webinar and thinking, oh yeah, connection is what we need to do as a theme. It's like, what are you excited about? What are you excited about? What gets you ticking? What's your thought process, your thinking, your theme that you can bring to life? And just to add to this, and we're getting to the business end of this now, this is not an instant thing. So I know I tell the story of Salt Bay at the start there, one video and look, 22 restaurants and a multi-millionaire. Look, I don't need to tell you this. That's not the case. The case is actually you've got to start, you've got to evolve, you've got to keep moving with it, you've got to keep trying. And actually, it's at that point where most people give up. They're not getting the interactions, if you like, that they want from this. But actually, that's when to keep going. And actually, there's a stat here which always blows my mind. 1 like equals approximately 1,000 views. 1 like equals 1,000 views. Yeah, so this is almost, don't worry about this. I drew this myself, but it's this idea that, at first you might get a bit of a surprise effect. Oh, Lynette's posted. Oh, I've not seen Lynette post. I'm going to I'm going to share, etc. So there's a little surprise attack, but then they don't keep liking and sharing, and you keep going. You've got to tell yourself, look, this is about keeping going and really making sure that we're showing up. Mitali asks, can our different social handles represent different facets of ourselves? And I think, yes, it's a great idea. So again, you can choose a different theme per different channel. If photography is your thing, it makes sense that that's on Instagram. That's where people would be going, where other photographers might be. If your theme might be a work-related theme, and it might be around money or financing or whatever the case may be, then LinkedIn is the perfect place to do that. That doesn't mean then on Facebook you've got to be talking about money as well. It's this idea of choosing the right channel for the right language that you want to do. I've seen some LinkedIn influencers talk about 2 themes simultaneously, like marketing and mental health at work. Well, this is where the magic happens. like what we don't want with a theme. Why did Salt Bay work so well? Because nobody had done that. It was unique. It was different. So if you can get your uniqueness, That's ideal. That's absolutely ideal. That's what we want. This is something we do. We don't want to just be vanilla and blend in with everybody else. We want to make a move, be really happy with it and move with it. But again, don't overthink this. Don't overthink this. I'll tell you in a second what you can do. But the idea of this is, once you've got a theme, you can try it, see what works, play with this, if you like. Isn't video yet not overexploited trend for LinkedIn as well? People don't really to read online. Yeah. So it's a great point. And again, Isabel, try it. What are we actually losing here? There's another statement I don't talk about forget perfection. And I'm a massive fan of that. Thank God I'm a massive fan of that. Else I won't be showing up and talking about anything, would I? But this idea, if you are homing and wanting perfection, chances are that's going to be a blocker from doing. So this is about trying, learning, moving forward, progress over perfection. I put a video resume on my profile exactly for that reason. Love that. Brilliant. Look, the other thing as well, couple of tips, if you like, a couple of add-ons, is you can fast track this. Let me explain this. So let's say you do pick up an idea for a theme and you're like, okay, I like that connection. I'm going to go with that. You do a couple of posts, etc., and just lightly touching on this theme of connection. And then there's certain people you want to make sure notice you. Well, remember the Googling from earlier. People are curious. 80% will Google people they're going to meet. So what can you do? You can do something that we call below the surface. What do we mean by below the surface? This is where you actively start massaging LinkedIn. For example, if you like somebody else's content, they're going to think, oh, who is this person? If you view their profile, they'll get a little notification that this person has viewed their profile, and curiosity kicks in. They then look at you. And when they look at you and they see that you're a person all about connection, etc., it's like, oh, I'm interested about this person. This is it. And then suddenly, if a CV lands on their desk and it's like, I know this person already, we've started to build those connections. And there's lots of little ways you can do this just to make this work. Does this work? Well, the stats show that this works 800 times more. This idea, and this is why this world of influence even exists, rather than just sell a product or sell some data. If you connect it with a person, it's so much more effective. So the final thing is, how do you even get started? How do you know what your themes are? And again, I'm excited about what you're throwing in the chat, because it feels like you've already got this and you've got the concept behind this. But I call it the coffee test. The coffee test. This is what you do. You think about what your theme might be. You think about what your dream job might be and what your theme might be, etc. Then when you've got that idea, you go for a coffee with somebody else. And the idea here is, if you can talk and you would be excited and passionate about talking about this theme, this topic for half an hour, then that could be your theme. If it's something that you enjoy doing, you lean into, it doesn't dry up after 5 minutes, you've potentially got something there. If it does, then go back, think about it again, think what it might be, and then evolve it and go again. So I'm about to hand over to Lynette here. But before I do, and I've seen a couple come in, if you've got any questions about any of this, please let us know. And what is this? This is a bit of a taster, if you like, a bit of a taster of the type of content that will be on FastFutures. But again, any questions that you have about this personal brand, please let us know. We've got talking about something needs to be coupled with genuineness and true passion, else people can make out when it's flaky and posting for the heck of it to draw attention. Love that. Now, I nearly misread that as genius, but I didn't. Genuine. Look, you don't have to be an expert in this. If it's nutrition, it doesn't have to be that you are an expert in nutrition. It just has to be that you're passionate about becoming more knowledgeable in nutrition. I think that's a massive difference and actually quite empowering as well. Okay, what about having almost imposter syndrome when it comes to posting publicly? Jasmine, it's a great point. A great point. It exists. I feel it all the time as well. And what I always tell myself, it's about steps. So if there's a topic, let's take nutrition, which is a great one because I know nothing about nutrition. But let's say I just pick up some knowledge about nutrition and I'm passionate about it. And maybe I get to step 4. Then actually, I can tell anybody on steps 1, 2, and 3 about nutrition. What I can't do is tell people on steps 5, 6, and 7 and 8 about nutrition. So it's about understanding where you might be in this journey and be very honest about it. Don't listen to me if you are, a PT or an expert when it comes to nutrition. But if you're somebody that doesn't know the basics about structuring your meals, etc., then I'm going to help you. And I think that's how you can get over this imposter syndrome. Understand where you are and talk to those people that are lower down the steps than you, and not try and be at the top of that. We're all progressing. We're all learning. We live in a world constantly changing. So it's just the reality there. And Jasmine, I think, again, I don't see it as a problem that employers are seeing it. What do employers want is people that are committed to learning more, and showing that appetite to get better as well. I found informal interviews with people in the industry or career path that I am interested in absolutely invaluable. So Esther, a great one there. Rather than be the expert, interview the experts. Find a different way around it. Look, and this is true. I'm fascinated with neuroscience. How we think and why we think. But I'm not a neuroscientist. But actually, I would love to interview the leading figures at a university or around the world on neuroscience. And what I'm doing is I'm associating myself with that topic. Then, so again, find that different, find that connection. Carolina, when we find a unique theme and decide upon it, do we then make posts on LinkedIn or elsewhere? Again, great question. LinkedIn's a really nice one. If we're talking about jobs in the world of work, that is a good place to be focusing on. Recruitment, what they will do. And even if you don't like LinkedIn, this is really important to know. They'll say, who is this person? And they'll do a quick search and see if you're on LinkedIn. If you're not there, they might look elsewhere. If you are there, you've got that chance to make that first impression and have that under your control. Is creating branding same as creating YouTube channel? If no, can we please have a session on YouTube creation? Yeah. So it's not the same. It's not the same, but it's not too dissimilar. You could have a YouTube channel where you talk about your theme and then share those links on different platforms. So that could be the case, definitely. But again, it's this assumption that the people, the recruiters, might not be there. So it's about taking that content and then making sure you're pushing it elsewhere. And Jasmine says, I'm used to engaging with friends when it comes to travel, academia, etc. on my private Instagram, but I'm nervous about making it that public. Look, and again, we're not encouraging you to do anything that's uncomfortable here. This could just be, deciding what your theme is and updating your profiles to match that. You could still keep all your posts private. It's just as long as that first impression is a bit more controlled. So look, I'm going to have to hand over here now because Lynette's got some exciting things to talk about FastFutures. But I'm hoping that is going to be helpful. If there are any other questions, please fire them in, and we will obviously find a way to get you those answers. Lynette, am I right to hand over to you to tell a little bit more about what FastFutures is and how this is all connected?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Helen. That was really engaging.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. So yeah, my name is Lynette. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about FastFutures. I'm just kind of kicking off from what Simon's been kind of telling us and teaching us about personal brand. I know a lot of you might be in a situation where maybe you're finishing uni, or you're now trying to start thinking about how you're going to get your career started, things like that. And I know, like, personally, also went through it, that paradox of kind of like, you might not have enough experience, you're not kind of sure where to start, but you might know you want to be in marketing, or you want to be in finance, or maybe you're still trying to kind of discover which direction you want to go on. And that can be a really kind of tricky place to be, trying to kind of navigate that whole scenario. So this is what this whole session is about, kind of trying to help you to start developing your personal brand, kind of help you kick off the career and kind of start exploring your strengths, your weaknesses, what you're passionate about, to kind of help you make those first steps into your career. So Simon is actually one of our facilitators over at FastFutures. So he runs quite a few sessions that are similar to these, which are all about personal brand, how to stand out on LinkedIn, how to set up a LinkedIn profile if you don't have one, how you can then translate that into your CV, and essentially how you develop your personal brand in order to be able to present it to employers and kind of stand out, be that top candidate that they're looking for, and be, at the top of that pile of CV, so that you're not kind of missed out. So a bit of background on what FastFutures is. So FastFutures is a work-ready program. It's a free program, which is funded by a lot of top employers from the UK, with the lead partner being BT, and follow up with people like Shell, Legal & General, Blair & Charcoal, really big kind of top employers in the UK. And they support us to basically give you free spaces on the program to really kind of gear up your work ready skills, get really good digital skills under your belt so that you can step into these big careers. So essentially, we help you get those skills that these employers are looking for and help you learn how to kind of communicate yourself very well in order to be able to get these opportunities. So FastFutures is super exciting. It's made for 18 to 24-year-olds. And just kind of designed to get you up on that career ladder. So just to take you through a bit more about it, these are some of the employers that we have backing us. They kind of fund it so that you guys can have a free space on program, and they're quite actively involved with us. So, we also have mentoring on the program, which all of our mentors come from these companies, and we also have like live sessions with some of these to see what it would be like to work with them, and what type of candidates they look for and how you can kind of get started in specific careers that are with them. So what's actually in it for you with FastFutures? So with FastFutures, I'm seeing a couple questions about ages. Initially, it was designed for 18 to 24-year-olds, just because at the break of the pandemic, they were the most vulnerable from trying to get into employment, from education. But you're more than welcome to apply also if you are still a graduate, just slightly over. Feel free to kind of send your application through. There's no sort of requirements apart from age and that you have to work and be able to live and work in the UK. Other than that, we kind of don't judge on your background or anything like that. No GCSEs, no academia that we kind of look at. The only entry requirement is just that you live and work in the UK. So yeah, send your application through, even if you are over, and we can have a look at that for you. So yeah, what's in it for you if you join FastFutures? So FastFutures will help you kind of get those digital skills that the employers are looking for. You can expect to have a lot more live sessions like the ones that we've had with Simon today. And this will be accompanied with one-to-one career support and mentoring. So you'll each get a mentor who will be able to kind of help you focus on the areas that you want to focus on. So we have a lot of learners who want to focus on building their CV, a lot of learners who want to really kind of make a big impact with their personal brand. And that's what your mentor could help you do. You could have a mentor from the NHS, from BT. These are real business professionals who've kind of been there, done that. They kind of know what they sort of look for when they're looking for candidates. So they've got super valuable input to kind of give to you, and you can kind of build that relationship as much as you want. A lot of our learners take that relationship past FastFutures, so they look at their mentors till this day while they're in their new jobs and as they progress and things like that. So it's a really great networking opportunity for you, not just for like-minded individuals like yourself, but also with some of the business professionals that we've got on board. I've got a question about is it okay if undergraduates apply to helping with internships? Absolutely. One of the perks of being in FastFutures is that a lot of these employers that are supporting us, they they provide opportunities as well. So we have a community platform called FastLink where you can kind of interact with them. We list a lot of job opportunities on there, and these opportunities vary from placements, internships to grad schemes and full-time roles, permanent roles. So yeah, once you're on the program, you've kind of got an access to this exclusive jobs board where you can explore all these opportunities. And just having the fact that you've been on the program on your CV makes you stand out immediately, because a lot of these companies, they love to know that you're active in trying to learn and develop, and which comes back to the whole point of where someone was talking about building a personal brand. You might not have everything figured out right now, but it's all about journaling your journey right now. So we have a lot of learners who've gone on to get jobs in places like Google, Modular, the NHS, National Express, all sorts of big employers around the UK, and a lot of them, we do see them on LinkedIn being very active throughout their FastFutures experience, kind of a weekly update on like what they've learned this week, something that they've discovered about themselves, something that they enjoyed. And it kind of helps you get into the routine of kind of putting your thoughts together and kind of figuring out what your theme is, what are you super passionate about. And these are the things that employers love to see. A lot of our learners, they'll come off of a live session with, say, BT, and they'll be writing all about what they learned, what they loved about it. They tag BT, they tag the facilitator for the day, and it garners a lot of attention for them, and it makes them stand out when it comes to applications. Making it known what you want in terms of career can also give you a great opportunity as well, because you might get offers coming to you. So it's a really great opportunity to kind of help you really hone in on what your personal brand is all about. Seeing a couple more questions. Is it necessary that we need to be interested only in those companies specifically? Absolutely not. These are companies that are just actively seeking candidates like yourselves, and are coming through us to kind of gain that connection with you. After the program, you don't have to go to any of these. You could go anywhere you like, but it's just a helpful stepping stone for you to kind of help you in that development and kind of getting ready to take that step to kind of get your career started. Are the job opportunities just with the companies listed on the website? We have a mixture, so we do have a couple of internships that come externally as well, but the majority of them would be from the ones that are with us. Is there any way to be part of FastFutures from outside of the UK? A lot of things you mentioned seem like amazing opportunities. It is possible if you do have the right to live and work in the UK. I think if you have the proof for that, that's absolutely fine. If you live abroad, and we can work that way. So if you're turning 25 this year, can we still apply? Yes, go for it. That should be absolutely fine because you've just turned this year. International students can apply as well. You can do if you can live and work in the UK. That's the only stipulation that they have. If you don't, unfortunately, that you may not be able to make it on. But we're kind of having a further look at that. So just to quickly finish up, applications will be closing on the 24th of October, so not too long to go till applications close. You will receive an email after this with the links to kind of go have a further look. We've got a YouTube playlist of kind of some learners kind of talking through what their experience was like and what they went through. And you can kind of find out a little bit more. If you have any further questions you want to go through with us, feel free to email us, questions about age limits or maybe visas and things like that. I'll just pop an email address in there. Please do send that through, and we can have a look at that for you. But just to give you a quick run through of what the journey could possibly look like for you. So applications close on the 24th of October. And then you would be starting on the 31st. You basically start with the get started, where we welcome you, kind of let you know what the next couple of weeks will look like. This program is very flexible. It's all remote and virtual, so you just do it from home. And from can we have my social media links as well? Yes, you can find me on LinkedIn as Lynette Bebe. I work for Avado, but I'll post it just after this as well for you. Yeah, so the content you'll cover, innovation, data, marketing, finance, kind of the key skills that a lot of employers are looking for. You don't have to be looking to work in finance specifically or marketing, but they're just really good skills to kind of know, and it's something that a lot of employers are asking for these days. So it will give you that kind of step up from just all the other candidates as well, kind of having all of these under your belt. As you can see, we've got some of the mentor sessions in there as well. We kind of plan for 3 mentor sessions throughout the 6 weeks. However, it's between you and your mentor to kind of, if you want to have a little bit more out of that, you're more than welcome to arrange a little bit more. That mentor relationship is all yours, so you can use them as much or as little as you would like to. And then at the end of it all, we do a group project, just to wrap it all up. This is also a fantastic opportunity to kind of talk about all the things you've learned, what have you been working on in your project, what role did you take, things like that. Employers really love to hear and see how active you are in kind of developing your skills, and kind of taking a lead and kind of, really pushing yourself out of your comfort zone to kind of learn new things, and develop. So yeah, that's kind of what the journey looks like. And just to finish off, here's a couple quotes from kind of what our learners have said in the past. A lot of them have used FastFutures as an example in interviews. So you might be asked to give us an example about when you've worked in a team. There's plenty of team projects that you can draw from within FastFutures. The impact of the program, how you can talk a lot about that within interviews. And we have a student who actually left A levels, went to apply for Google, and kind of having the FastFutures experience to talk about it really made him stand out in his application for that, which is what ended up helping him land the job. So it's a really great opportunity. Feel free to kind of have a look around our website, have a look on our YouTube to kind of hear a lot more directly from the learners about what their experience was like and what they achieved and what that could look like for you as well. So yeah, apologies, we've kind of come to the end of it now. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm just gonna have a look at one of these last few questions. How much time a day should we expect? So the overall, it's 6 weeks. And within that 6 weeks, you would be expected to give about 4 or 5 hours of learning time. This will be through group work and also live sessions, kind of like this. If you can't make it for whatever reason on the day, we also have recordings, so you can always catch up. And it's all online, all remote, all at home, flexible, and it's free for you as well, so no cost for you, as it's fully funded by these employers. So that is 4 to 5 hours a week, and the whole program lasts 6 months. So you'd be doing 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 weeks. So you'd be going from end of October to early December. But yeah, like I said, if you've got any further questions, please do send it through in that email. I'll also just post my LinkedIn as well, so you can directly come to me as well if you've got any further questions. And yeah, look out for that email from the follow-up email with all the direct links for applications and to find out a little bit more as well. FastFutures socials as well, absolutely. You can find them at Avado Learning on everything else. And for Instagram specifically, it's Avado_learning. But if you go on the website, you'll be able to see the link to them all in one place. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Apologies, we've gone over time slightly, but thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you got a lot out of the session. I know I certainly enjoyed Simon's section. I've got a bit more work to do on my own personal brand as well. So we're all in that together. Yeah, looking forward to hearing all from you. If you want to post on LinkedIn about what you've learned today, feel free to tag us. We are Avado Learning, and Simon as well, Simon McCaskill. And yes, we will send you the slides afterwards in the follow-up email. And yeah, have a lovely weekend, everybody. And yeah, look forward to seeing you on FastFutures. Take care.